A worker who survived the Hard Rock Hotel collapse after reporting unsafe conditions was deported today. Good evening, I'm Sharice Gibson. Immigration advocates have condemned his deportation, calling it a tragedy. And as Devin Bartolotta explains, they believe it could impact the investigation into why the hotel collapsed.
Delmer Joel Ramirez Palma barely escaped as steel and cement came crumbling down around him at the Hard Rock Hotel October 12th. But 2 days later, he found himself in federal custody, and the day after Thanksgiving, booted from the U.S. on a flight back to his native Honduras.
This is all extraordinarily suspicious, strange circumstances.
His attorney, Mary Yannick, told WWL-TV she believes this was retaliatory. Ramirez Palma, interviewed here by the Jambalaya News, had reported concerns about the building's safety before the collapse.
He has sought to participate fully in the investigation to try to assist OSHA and any other law enforcement that wants to talk to him about the information he has as a worker on that site for 3 months before the collapse.
Ramirez Palma had been in the U.S. for 19 years and has an American son. Still, he lost his fight in immigration court and has had a deportation order since 2016. In a statement, the New Orleans Workers Center for Racial Justice condemned his deportation, saying it might scare other workers off from helping investigators. Writing, quote, "The next time a building collapses, we will wonder if it could have been prevented if our federal agencies had prioritized answers and accountability for the survivors of the Hard Rock. We will wonder if the same bad actors are to blame. And we will wonder if potential whistleblowers kept silent because they saw what happened to Joel." Devin Bartolotta, Eyewitness News.
And we've been following along with stories surrounding the collapse since it happened on October 12th. You can find all of our stories and stay up to date on our website or social media pages.